And welcome to the beautiful ancient city of Odense, a city perhaps best known as the birthplace of Hans Christian Andersen, the world-famous author of poems and children's fairy tales. It's also the third largest city in Denmark, and for an 11th consecutive year, Odense has also been home to the Denmark Open. It's one of the oldest tournaments in the sport of badminton, dating all the way back to 1935. And this year, the Danisa Denmark Open is the 9th event on the 12-tournament MetLife BWF World Superseries. Not only the 9th event, but also one of the 5 premier events, an even higher tier of tournament within the Super Series. Malaysia, All England, Indonesia, now Denmark, and the last premier is China. So the 12 events plus the end-of-year finale, the Super Series finals, and the destination, once again, is Dubai. Just the top 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines will qualify for the end-of-year championships. And it's only the results from the 12 Super Series events which count towards that qualifying process. Well, second round action today, 5 matches for you this evening. And we're starting with men's singles, and the 4-time finalist, 2-time champion, Chong Wei of Malaysia is up against Prannoy of India. Then it's mixed doubles, and Rasmussen and Kersfeldt, in only their 3rd ever tournament together, they're up against the world and Olympic champions, Tontoy Ahmad and Liliana Nasir. Then it's men's doubles and more home interest. The European Championship bronze medalists, Christiansen and Daugor, up against the current world number ones, Gideon and Sukamolio, winners of 4 Super Series titles already this year. Then it's women's singles, and Zhang Bei Wen, fresh from winning her 3rd Dutch Open last week, is up against the defending champion, Akane Yamaguchi of Japan. Then we finish with a 2nd in singles and a former world number 1, So Wan Ho, 2-time beaten finalist here, including last year. He's up against the Danish youngster, Anders Antonsen, who of course won a silver medal at this year's European Championship. So a terrific lineup, but with men's singles being our first match this evening, a chance for us to look at the draw. Now this is just the top section of the draw, the top half of the draw. I can tell you that 5 of the 7 seeds that started are through to the 2nd round, but only 2 in the top half of the draw, as you can see. Rajiv Yusuf, the European champion, is already through to the quarterfinal, and so is the 37-year-old Lee Hyun-il of Korea. He was a semi-finalist last year. We will see both of those matches in the top section of the men's singles draw during tonight's program. Well, there's 3 courts in action here. And here comes a man that needs very little introduction. The former world number 1, the 2-time former champion here, Chong Wei of Malaysia. His opponents, Hasina Sunil Prannoy Kumar, the 25-year-old Indian player who has so much talent. Been beset with injuries throughout his career, but wonderful to see him back in good form. Well, delighted to say that once again I've got former Danish head coach Steen Pedersen sitting alongside me for all of tonight's matches. And Steen, I know you're a big fan of Prannoy. You love the way he plays.
Yeah, I think he's improved a lot. We saw him in Indonesia Open, where he beat actually Chong Wei and Chen Long. Didn't participate in the World Championships, didn't qualify. So very interesting to see what he can do here in the Premier Denmark Open.
Yeah, indeed, I concur. He is full of talent, and so are so many Indian players. We had the world ranking run earlier today, and until earlier today they had 5 players in the top 20. One's just slipped down to 21 in the world. But here is the former world number 1. He will turn 35 on Saturday. Chong Wei, born in Georgetown, Penang in Malaysia. He's making his 9th appearance here, and would you believe his first appearance was way back in 2003. 14 years ago, when he reached the quarter-final, losing out to fellow Malaysian Rosalind Hashim. Well, this is second round action, as I say, and his first match was against Pablo Abian from Spain. He was actually 7-11 down in that opening game and then promptly won 14 of the next 15 points to close it out, 21-12, 21-16. So to Hasina Sanil Prannoy Kumar, born in Kerala, actually, rather than Delhi. I have that information, but we've got it down there as Delhi. Highest ranking of 12, spent 13 weeks as number 12. He's actually gone up 1 place in the world ranking today to number 14. Now, his first match was against Dane Emil Holst, and it was a tough match too, 48 minutes for those 2 games, 21-18, 21-19. Well, this will be the 4th meeting between these 2 players, and as Steen was telling you,
ready to play.
Prannoy won the last occasion that they met, which was in the 2nd round of the Indonesia Premier Super Series in Jakarta. 40 minutes for that victory, 21-10, 21-18. All previous 3 matches, incidentally, have been won and lost in straight games, so they've never been the full distance. But we know that Prannoy is a player. As we look at our court officials for this one, we know that Prannoy is a player who has beaten all of the big top players, because he's had a victory over Lindan. That was in the 1st round of the 2015 French. He's beaten Chen Long. That was in Indonesia. You were talking about that, Steen, when Prannoy beat both Lee Chong Wei and Chen Long back to back.
On my right, Lee Chong Wei, Malaysia. On my left, here's Prannoy, India. Lee Chong Wei to serve, love all, play.
So the former world number 1, Lee Chong Wei, getting this 2nd round match underway. Oh, look at that dive. Opening rally. Now, Steen, you and I have been watching all week, and we were noticing that there was a sideways drift in this arena. So from right to left as we look down on the court.
Exactly, and very uncharacteristic for this tournament, where the arena is quite small and there's almost no drift in it. So I guess that has come to a surprise to many of the players here.
Service over. 1-0.
Oh, it's called in. Crikey, I wasn't sure about that.
1.
Oh, no challenge.
Oh. Seems like the linesman was correct here, but I don't blame Chong Wei, because that's the way the drifts have been taking the shuttle wide up until now, and that one's definitely wide.
3-1. Service over. 2-3. Service over. 4-2.
Well, there was a lot of question marks raised when Lee Chong Wei lost in the 1st round of the World Championships in Glasgow. And he even has talked since about he was so disappointed that he wondered whether he would retire immediately. Thankfully, he hasn't. But it must have been a dent in the confidence, one would think, Steve.
Definitely, and I mean, it seems like when you go past the 30, then everybody starts questioning when are you going to finish.
Yeah.
And I mean, why do you want to know? I mean, I finish when I become 39. I mean, just play on as long as you have the level, and definitely Chong Wei has shown that he has the level. He was in the final of the Japan Open, so he's not too shabby. And actually, he's the man he lost to in the World Championship first round, Brice Livadès. Oh, that's a challenge here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it's incorrect, but I understand why Chong Wei would have looked at it a second time.
Of course, the drift will bring it back in that side,
Exactly.
won't it? So we wait for Hawkeye to adjudicate for us.
Yeah, he was right, Chong Wei.
Yeah. Good challenge.
Correction. Out.
No, as you said, Joe, he lost to Brice Livadès of France in the first round of the World Championship. He actually also lost to the same player in this tournament last year here. And he's only lost to 4 players in the past year. 2 times to Brice, 2 times to Lindan. And I think 2 times to Victor Axelsen, and then once to Prannoy here. So 7 defeats in the last year, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I might have missed a couple of tournaments, but it's not that many people that that just go around beating Lee Chong Wei.
Service over. Six, 5.
Oh, you put that long.
Service over. 6.
Totally failed service return from Chong Wei.
Service over. 7, 6.
Well played.
Eight, 6.
It's very, very rare that you see Lee Chong Wei stranded like that.
Yeah.
Oh yes, nice movement from Prannoy.
Nine, 6. Service over.
Beautiful net shot from Chong Wei there.
Service over.
Just doesn't seem to have the confidence on the touch shots, especially Lee Chong Wei.
No. And I think it takes a little bit more, perhaps, than the final of Japan Open to restore his self-confidence. He says that it was a good boost for him, and he was playing better in Japan than in the Worlds, obviously, because the Worlds was him not playing so good, and Brice Livadès having an absolute A day.
Yeah.
But it seems like he's struggling a little bit to find his game. We also saw in the final in Japan Open that he's, in my opinion, having some trouble creating the rallies himself. So if the opponent can be patient enough, chances will occur. Whereas Chong Wei has been very used to utilizing his speed and his great defense to counterattack. So if Prannoy can play with great patience and avoid sort of outplaying himself, so to speak, then he has a great chance, in my opinion.
Yeah. So it is the Malaysian on a run of 5 straight points. 4 straight points, to be precise, actually. Goes to the mid-game interval with the advantage. Hendron, Lee Chong Wei as coach, and they're doing all the talking. On the red tracks on top is Pulala Gopichand.
And Arvin Bat, I think, next to him.
Also remember him winning the German Grand Prix Gold a few years ago, didn't he, Arvin?
Yeah.
Lovely player to watch.
I'm not certain, but I think Gopichand might have a little bit of his mind in Indonesia this time, because I think his daughter is playing the World Juniors. Gayatri Pulala Gopichand, as far as I'm concerned. And I saw she beat one of the Danish players earlier on in the tournament. I think she's out now. She's only 14.
Wow. That's a lovely angle, isn't it?
Lee. Is it bleeding? Yeah, it's okay. No, let me see. No. This you can play with. You have to stop.
Well, Lee Chong Wei saying that his blood injury is okay, and the umpire just saying no. International rules of sport dictate that all blood injuries must be treated immediately. I suspect that a little plaster, if they put it on, it's very distracting for the players, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah.
You've got a plaster, because badminton players hold the racket in their fingers. They don't hold it in the palm of their hand. So obviously, if a finger needs to be bandaged or a tape of some sort put on it, then it can affect the feeling of playing the shots.
Very much. It's often the knuckles that get hurt when they make these diving defenses and so on. And if you get some band-aid on that's a little slippery, then you don't have the same feel, and you might want to put a piece of sports tape around it also to make it stick. Because when the players have started sweating and so on, it's not so easy to get band-aid to stick on in the body.
The tournament referee also in attendance. Yeah.
2 minutes.
So opening game
11-all.
poised at 11-all.
Service over.
Prannoy has never progressed past the last 16 in this particular tournament. And that was last year. And who did he lose to? His opponent of today, Lee Chong Wei, lost in 2 straight games, 21-10, 22-20.
Service over.
That's good defence, isn't it?
Yeah. But there was also some of the game that I'd like to see from Lee Chong Wei, that he conducts a bit more of the rallies and starts the attack. Unfortunately, mishit that one on the middle court there, perhaps due to the side drift.
Service over. 13-12.
Well, Steen, you were mentioning that Lee Chong Wei reached the final of the Japan Super Series, the last of the Super Series prior to this Denmark Open. That was his 100th international tournament final.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Isn't it? Good lift.
Service over.
It's that touch shot again, that block.
Yeah.
13-0.
He doesn't seem to have the same touch as we used to 2 years ago, perhaps, maybe even 3 years ago, before he had this long break due to
A doping
doping violation. There you can see the side drift.
Yeah.
Service over.
And we must say that as well. I mean, this is only the second round of the tournament, and the best players, the more matches they play, of course, they adapt more to the circumstances. So the longer we progress into the tournament, of course, it's only the best players that are surviving, but we're also seeing higher quality of the game because they get used to the circumstances.
14,
Yeah.
Where
13.
sometimes it's really difficult to survive the first round. If you have a tough first round draw, you don't get that chance to play in the arena, and that's why a number of players, they got up really, really early in the morning to go to the arena and see if they can get some extra court time, especially the singles players, because it's so important to be accurate.
Yeah. Oh, my
Service
word.
over.
What an angle. That was fabulous.
$14-0.
Oh, yes, it's landed well in. Oh, it wasn't even really that close.
But what,
15.
it seems like he was looking a little bit for that side
14.
drift to sort of help him, Chong Wei. Just didn't kick in.
Service
Oh,
over.
does that go down as a missed opportunity, Steen?
Yeah.
15-0.
Yeah.
I've talked to a number of the players in the first 1.5 days here and trying to get their take on the wind conditions, so to speak, and everybody agrees that there's a side drift. And I've asked them, what about lengthwise,
16,
for and against?
15.
They say not so much, but the shuttles, they're really, really fast. Yeah, sometimes the shuttles can be really lively,
17,
seem to come quick off
15.
the racket and so on. So that can also be really, really tricky.
Oh, super shot.
$18-15. Service over.
Got what it deserved. That backhand from Prannoy.
I don't have the statistics from this tournament here. I just have a feeling that a lot of the matches that we've been watching throughout the first 2 days here, a lot of the games have been won on this near side of the court here. That's for some reason seems to be the preferred side.
Oh, that's a good smash. Trademark movement there from the Chong Wei. Round the heads. Movement, as we call it.
17.
You're still hit with the overhead
18.
action, even though you're playing the shot from the backhand side. Just going back to your point, Steen. Good rally. Ended with a very good, accurate smash. Steve, I was just going to make comments, and you know, you've been talking to the players, you've been talking to many of them, and as you've just said, they don't seem to think there's much difference in the ends, in which case it is bewildering, your comment that most of the tight matches, the players have been winning from this near side of the court.
I think so, yeah, I think so.
No logical reason for it at all.
Lige der foran dig. Lige foran dig til højre. Der. Hvad?
Then we should start speculating in terms of right-handedness according to the side drift, if that benefits
19,
the right-handed, if it's easier to control the shots, crosses from the forehand side and so on, but let's not go into that.
No. Yeah. Game point opportunities for Hasina Sunil Prannoy.
20, game
Look
point.
at that. There's a couple
17.
of times he's played cross-court net shots. I remember one from the forehand side too, which was an outright winner.
Yeah.
That one from the backhand.
And the last time he beat Lee Chong Wei, it was with Mulyo Handoyo as his coach. He's still his coach, he's just not here in this tournament.
Opening game to the unseeded Hasina Sunil Prannoy Kumar.
First game won by Prannoy.
That's great defence, wasn't it? It was straight at him, that smash. Look how quickly he was forward.
Oh, he touched the net.
Yeah. So 21-17, that opening game. Yeah, racket arm outstretched. Perfect. 20 minutes for game number one.
Der, ja. Er det blod? Så skal du... Nej, så skal du ikke gøre mere. Så skal du ikke gøre mere. Så vi kan det fjerne. Hanne, du er sikker på det blod, ikke også?
Well, I was saying right at the start of the match that this youngster from India has been beset with injuries. I remember in 2012 he suffered a slipped disc. He was out for 6 months. Had a foot injury again a couple of years ago as well, didn't he? Left toe. Missed the Sudirman Cup and out for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
1 or 2 niggles since, I think, as well.
That's one of the things that are so important, that you're able to train consistently. Continuous training is so valuable.
That's blood. It's blood. So we need to remove it. So please just stay here. Yeah, just stay here.
Right, well, there's something wrong with the court, I think. What's going on? They need to remove something.
Now there's some of Lee Chong Wei's blood that has stuck on the surface. The umpire was spotting it whilst the court was being mopped.
Yeah. Okay.
Just. Yeah. "30 seconds.
Well, Lee Chong
Second
Wei,
game.
if he
Love all.
wants to get through this match,
Right.
is going to have to come from a game down. Well, he's got to think about the drift as far as that return of serve and pushes deep into Prannoy's forehand corner. Yeah, that's good judgment.
Service over. 1-all.
Very good judgment.
Two, 1.
Oh, this challenge.
Yeah.
Paige Prannoy challenging, calls out.
Well, you're looking almost straight down that line, Steve.
Yeah, but I won't call it. I think it caught a tiny bit of the line. I'll risk it.
You're a brave man.
Challenge
Eagle eye.
successful.
It could have been out and still caught a little bit of that line, and I would have been right. It was just not the line that they were calling it on.
Yeah, it's a very good challenge from Prannoy.
Wow,
Goodness me.
that's a
3,
very big mistake.
2.
That one. Hitting outside the doubles line. And I'm gonna.
Service over. 3-all.
I'm going to risk a little bit more. I'll say that there's a drift alongside the court. I think there's drift alongside the court coming towards Lee Chong Wei, so he plays a little bit against the drift now. Doesn't mean he can't put it long because the shuttles are really, really fast, and I think a lot of players are mistaking that
Service
for
over.
that there's no drift at all.
Yeah.
That they can put it long
4-3.
even on this side here. And also, one of the things that complicates it is also that the drift might be in certain layers of the hole. So if you play a high trajectory shot, it might get caught by the drift, whereas a flat trajectory shot doesn't get caught by the drift. So the first time I've seen this difficult playing conditions in Denmark in this little hole here in Odense.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Six, 4.
Oh, good block.
Service over. 5-6.
That's the sort of Aristine that when he was really on the top of his game, Lee Chong Wei just never missed.
No. Much more secure in those shots. Just try just for fun to compare his win percentage. This year he's played 25 matches, won 20 of them, so a win percentage of 80. To his overall win percentage throughout his career. His overall win percentage throughout his career is 84.4. So maybe not significant, but we have to remember that when he was a youngster on his way up and so on, he didn't win that many matches in the middle of his career. So it's safe to say that he's got a really, really good level still, but he's more human compared to when he was dominating everything together with Lin Dan.
Yeah.
Which is natural.
And when you translate that win-loss record for the year into actual tournaments, it's 3 finals, winning 1 title, the All England from 6 tournaments. So
over.
He's playing less nowadays.
Yeah.
But that's probably very wise at the age of 34, 35 on Saturday.
I feel that the momentum is about to change a little bit towards the advantage of Lee Chong Wei. He's conducting the rallies.
Yeah, but that's a good response from Prannoy.
Yeah.
7, 8.
He sliced that one a little bit, yeah.
Service over. 9, 7.
Oh, yes. What an angle again.
Service over.
And that's one of the things I like about HS Prannoy, that he has a good attack, in my opinion. Good height for a badminton player. And one of the 3, 4, 5 players that can do damage to the older ones that rely a lot on their shot-making ability, their precision. Lin Dan, Lee Chong Wei, Chen Long. The others that can sort of put pressure on them, apart from Prannoy, is Victor Axelsen, of course, with his height and his steepness in his smashes. Prannoy's teammate, Shrikant Kidambi, who's also a very strong attacking player. And then, of course, the injured Janno Jorgensen from Denmark, who's also got a really strong attacking game. Contrary to that is someone who was maybe, if he wins this match, playing the winner of this match here, he's relying a little bit more on his patient playing style, and he's got a little bit of trouble scoring his own points easy against these the old guys, so to speak.
Good deception
11-8
from Lee Chong Wei. And he has a 3-point advantage here at the mid-game interval of the second game.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
Yes, I wonder if that was an indication now. I thought Henderwan looked a little more relaxed there as well, Steen, his body language, the coach of Lee Chong Wei.
11-8. Play.
Oh, unsighted. I thought that was long.
In. Service over.
Oof.
You want challenge? I'll challenge it.
Yeah, well, now the umpire, having made the call, has challenged it
I'll
himself.
challenge it. Yeah, I'll change it. Yeah.
Lee Chong Wei challenging.
Well, the umpire, we could clearly
No
hear him
decision.
say that he was challenging.
Yeah. He actually called it in. He has
Yes.
the chance to call it when the umpire, when the linesman covers his eyes.
Yeah.
That's a sign that he didn't see it.
Yeah.
Good thing he didn't stick with that.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that in this second game, HS Prannoy has been very careful whenever he played the baseline of Lee Chong Wei. He hasn't played it a lot, and that, in my opinion, supports my theory that he's playing with the drift, trying to play a lot of front court.
Yes, this is a handsome little lead now for Lee Chong Wei. Well, you predicted it, Steen. You said the score was 8-7, and I think you predicted that Lee Chong Wei was going to make a bit of a break here.
Yeah, I felt that he was sort of taking over the initiative in the rallies, and when that happens, it's normally just a matter of time before it also gives some points.
Oh, it's well taken. Good follow-up from Prannoy. That's a very good kill.
40.
Sliced that. Created the deception, but still keeping it in a downward direction.
But a good thing is to try and look at Lee Chong Wei's feet whenever Prannoy tries to play the backcourt. Here it is. Look how short it is when he plays the backcourt. He cannot be as accurate as he would like to be because, in my opinion, there's a drift from Prannoy to Lee Chong Wei, making it hard for Prannoy to hit the baseline with accuracy.
10-14. Service over. 15-10.
Well, I know I shouldn't count my chickens before they're hatched, Steen, but it does look as if the first time in the history of these two players playing each other, we will have a third game.
Yeah. Again, trying a little deception and playing the long corner, but it's
too short again.
Yeah, it's way too short. That was a good length.
18.
That's what I would do now if I were Prannoy, I would realize that this second game is gone, and I would try to see if I could get a little bit of a touch on that baseline there, because he's going to have to play there on more than half of the third game, probably.
19-10.
Oh, yes.
20, game point, 10.
Whole host of game point opportunities for Lee Chong Wei to level this second round match at 1 game apiece.
Service over. 11-20.
Wait.
11-20. Game.
Second time of asking. And the two-time former champion closes
Second
out
game, won
the
by
second game
Lee Chong Wei,
to level this second round
21-11.
match at
1
1
game
game
all.
apiece. 21-11 in that second game. "39 minutes into the match." Oh, it's super movement, isn't it? It just glides around the court. 1 game all.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
Well, here's an interesting stat between the two, Steen. Of course, we know that Lee Chong Wei has been a great supporter of the Super Series. And apart from his 64 finals, of
Final
which he's
game.
won 45
Level.
titles, he did have a spell
Flag.
over 2012, 13 and 14 where he reached 36 consecutive Super Series
One.
semi-finals
No.
that he played in.
Yeah, that's
Prannoy has reached 1 Super Series semi-final. That was in Indonesia earlier this year.
it also shows something about how dominant Lee Chong Wei and Lin Dan was.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, reaching 36 consecutive finals, you're going to have some semi-finals, sorry. You're going to have a bad day once in a while, but you still manage to survive it because you're a lot better than your opponent.
Yeah. It's a sign of a great champion, isn't it, in any sport, if you can find a way to win when you're not playing at your best.
Yeah.
That's a good rally. And that will settle the nerves and help the confidence of Lee Chong Wei.
No.
What's Prannoy got to do to counteract this? Because, of course, the momentum in the second game was most definitely with Chong Wei.
Yeah, the problem for him is that Chong Wei also knows now that he cannot play the same way he did in the first game. So he's going to be a bit more alert and probably has a little bit better touch as well. Let's see if he get the right length there. So now they're playing a bit more rallying again. Chong Wei is conducting it. That helped Prannoy. He needed Chong Wei to make a mistake and get a little bit uncertain, either on the baseline, which was the best, but also on the sideline. That Prannoy in the first game, in my opinion, controlled much better than Chong Wei. But the stakes have been raised here because both players know that they're so experienced. They know that they cannot just wait. Chong Wei is not standing there waiting to get on the, so to speak, good side. He knows that he must score some points here because Prannoy will come out after the interval a much better player on the far side than he was in the second game.
That was magnificent dive block, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I didn't really answer your questions, did I? What he should do. But I think he should play with some patience and make sure that Chong Wei doesn't have the shuttle just around tape height or so, where he can put pressure on Prannoy flat to his left-hand side, where it's difficult to control it, and he might risk putting it out like he did here. That was a smash, of course, but if Chong Wei can play with some pace into the body, then it's difficult for Prannoy to get it away, and Chong Wei can perhaps work on the next 2 or 3 shots and win it from there.
Service all called.
Service fault called. Jan Andersson of Sweden, our service judge.
Two, 4.
Oh, good smash. Good defense too.
Oh.
What a good rally. Oh my goodness me.
Service over.
Again, outside the doubles line.
5-2.
He's landed in.
Service over. 3.
I think that just proves your theory about the lengthways drift.
I'm getting more and more certain as the match progresses that the read is good. But he's much more confident right now, Chong Wei. He's sort of read the situation, knows where he is. His defense on this far side of the court has been much better than in the first game.
Oh, it's brilliantly taken. Oh, my goodness. All strings good gone.
Service over.
Did well to control the kill. That's where the strings went. That was
Service
a
over.
woefully short lift, but he'd been forced by the quality of the net shot from Lee Chong Wei.
And this time he was quite confident that he
7,
stayed there. We saw
4.
a couple of rallies ago where he was actually staying, but then he was a little bit hesitant and said, "Oh, is he lifting anyway?" But it's so important in that game now. We saw Prannoy play a good net game in the first
Service over.
game here, and I think
5.
he
7.
really needs to utilize that. That's where I felt that the Indian players had benefited from the hire of Mulyo Handoyo. Taufik Hidayat, the Indonesian former Olympic gold medalist and world champion, his old coach, that he could sort of bring some tactical issues into their front court game. Well played, well played.
Yeah, and he's pleased with that. And so he should be.
6, 7.
Stood his ground.
Yeah, and it was the first backhand shot that he played straight, that he kept that inside. That was the key. Good shot.
Service over. 8, 6.
Yes.
Service over.
Well, there was a slight slip by Lee Chong Wei. Was it his left foot that just gave way here? No, it was his right foot.
And we're playing on totally new mats here, the green mats. The playing surface are brand new for this tournament here in Odense, and they haven't been sort of worn a little bit. They're best when they're worn a little bit, not totally outworn, but
Yeah.
worn a little bit, because otherwise they tend to get quite slippery with just the slightest drop of sweat
Yeah.
or blood, as we saw in the first game.
7, 8.
It was very, very early on that return of serve.
9, 7.
It's gone long.
Service over. 8, 9.
That's basically what it's about, and that's
Service
what it's
over.
always about. It's just even more important now, where the conditions are a little bit difficult, that you steal time from your opponent, either by being really, really quick on the return of the shots,
10,
or putting
8.
a small deception on, so that the opponent doesn't have the exact time. Then it's difficult to control, difficult to remember that you have to play it a little bit safe on one side, and you can go for the lines on the other side.
Service over. 9, 10.
You can't really afford to play too patient here.
Challenge from Lee
Lee
Chong
Chong
Wei.
Wei challenging, called in.
Well, he's had one challenge in the first two games, and both times he was proved correct, Lee Chong Wei. Can he make it a hat-trick? No, it was clearly
Challenge unsuccessful. Lee Chong Wei, one challenge remaining. 10 all. Play.
one for this game.
Chong Wei asks if he's got one challenge remaining, and the umpire says yes for this game. There are no more games.
11-10.
That's well taken off the top of the tape by Lee Chong Wei, and he has the advantage. Ooh, he touched the net as he followed through there. Look at this.
Change ends.
Yeah.
And I think that was before the shuttle hit the floor.
Which is the decisive thing.
Oh, wow, wow. Not called by the umpire. So the 1 point advantage is with the former champion. Here we go again. Look at this. Yep.
Yeah, it's before.
It was before it touched the floor.
Yeah,
that was a fault, but not spotted by the umpire.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Coach. Eleven, 10, play.
Well, I wonder if that call by the umpire, Christian Hederlund, will make a big difference in the outcome of this. It's only 1 point, but the psychology, Steen, of changing ends with the advantage, it shouldn't be underestimated.
You're right.
12,
Oh,
10.
there was
Prannoy?
also a little bit of movement on the net there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the post swing that actually touches the net, and I think it's really, really hard for the umpire to be alert to that. But on the other hand, the lines are covered by linesmen, so that's what they should look for.
It's a good rally. Oh,
Great shot.
just delightful.
And the problem for Prannoy is that it seems like he can only control the length here by giving his lift some more height. By giving him more height, he also gives more time to Lee Chong Wei, who can sort of tailor his attack. He's got a lot of time to figure out what kind of attacking shot he wants to use. Whenever he tries to play more fast-paced shots to the backcourt, they seem to get either too short or go long.
13, 10.
Oh, it's just wide. Wide by a whisker.
Service over. 11, 13.
If I were Chong Wei right now, I would be really, really
12,
looking to create myself
13.
a little cushion going into the decisive rallies of this match here, because I think Prannoy is a dangerous man, having him along all the way to 18 all or something like that.
Yes, and also not only is Prannoy
13,
dangerous, but I think that the nerves will kick in with Lee
Yeah.
Chong Wei, because we've talked about it earlier. The confidence has not been shattered, but it's certainly been dented.
Yeah, and when you play with the drift, like Prannoy is now, you got to work extremely hard, like a maniac. And that's difficult in the second game if you don't know if there's going to be a third game. But there's definitely not going to be a fourth game, so he can use all his leftover energy now.
Yeah.
There's no holding back. Good length on that shot there.
14,
And on a run of 4 straight
13.
points, Prannoy goes into the lead. errors, is it, from Lee
Yeah.
Chong Wei in these last few?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
3 or 4. Big errors. And mental-wise, it seems like Prannoy is more on right at the moment than Chong Wei. Like, the momentum is about to change that way.
Yeah.
Wait.
15-13.
It's in.
Crikey, this is extraordinary, isn't it?
It's a fantastic point to win for Prannoy and a terrible point to lose for Chong Wei.
16-13.
Because it stays well in, and even though you rely on your read on the drift, then you can't help wondering when it's such a misjudgment.
There's another error from Lee Chong Wei. 7 straight
17,
points now to
13.
Prannoy. Eight straight points to Prannoy. What on earth has happened?
And look how ready Prannoy is for that shot to his backhand side.
Yeah.
18-13.
Oh, yeah, that's a good.
Oh, it's just long.
Service over.
Well, I thought he tricked
14,
him, but I think Chong Wei
18.
quickly judged that that was going to go long.
Good early judgment.
What a great match to.
Yeah.
What an exciting match to start the day with.
Yeah.
15-18.
Oh, my goodness, that was loose. Well, it's all going to be about the nerves now, isn't it? 2 points in it.
18.
Yeah, and suddenly it's changed because it was 10-11 and Prannoy is going to the presumably worse side of the court, so he can sort of mentally attack. And then he got this big lead, so now he should almost win it, and now he's a little bit on the defensive side again.
Touch shots again, letting him down, Lee Chong Wei.
19-16.
Well, Prannoy 2 points away from a second consecutive win over this man. Two-time former champion here at the Denmark Open, Lee Chong Wei.
Service over. 17-19.
Good
Save.
defense. That's landing it.
Oh,
Oh, it's long.
ball.
Oh, I knew it was coming back in sideways.
19.
That was incredible defense there from Lee Chong Wei.
And he took that little towel down at 18, was it 13, 14?
13.
13. That definitely helped him. Wow, that's a big miss.
That's a huge miss. It's all level.
19 all.
19 all. Well, I said it was going to come down to nerves. Nerves and character. Brilliance. What a great smash from Prannoy. Urges himself on.
That's a fantastic shot.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the lift from Chong Wei.
Match point opportunity for Prannoy.
Match point 90.
Oh my goodness. What a rally. Oh, it's landed in. And Prannoy has beaten the two-time former champion, winning in 3 thrilling games. Well, that run of 8 straight points from 10-13 down to 18-13 up really made the difference. And I have to say that I think that both men really produced the goods when it mattered. Very, very nice to see Lee Chong Wei, despite the defeat, go and thank his opponent first. Oh, that was plumb on the line. What a shot to finish the mat from Prannoy. Both men, huge respect for one another. The moment of victory. An hour and 4 minutes for 21-17, 11-21, 21-19 in the deciding game. Wonderful that they both thanked each other for the contest in such a sportsmanlike fashion. So after that thrilling men's singles, we turn our attention to mixed doubles, and there's home interest in 3 of our next 4 matches. And of course the home interest in the mixed doubles is Anders Rasmussen and Lina Kiersveld up against the reigning world and Olympic champions Tantoy Ahmad and Liliana Nasir, who have been in 4 finals here at the Denmark Open.